Hey, hello, welcome again to our show here at VFW, Connecticut. You guys know me, Sheldon Batesic, the District 6 Commander, and we're putting on this show for you guys to provide you some valuable information to help you run your post. I'm here with my guest, Dominic. Want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Dominic Giuliano. I'm your State Adjutant and Quartermaster for the VFW Department in Connecticut.
And we got our Senior Vice.
I'm
Give it
Charlie
all.
Pickett. Thank you, Shelly.
Hey.
Appreciate it, guys.
So they didn't tell me they were wearing suits, so I got left out of that conversation. So that's why there's a difference here. I want to put that out there right now.
A-listers. A-listers.
We're A-listers.
So I want to also introduce, we have a special guest today. It's the State Auxiliary President, is Kathy Fleischauer. Thank you,
Yes.
Kathy. I'm sorry.
Fleischauer.
Thank you. And Kathy, so if you want to talk about the auxiliary and anything you want to put out to get the word out and tell them about certain dates or whatever you want to talk about, feel free, please. You got the next few minutes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't prepared to be the first one to speak, but that's okay. So I'm the department president for the VFW Auxiliary. So right now, the next thing that's coming up is our department convention, which Dominic can probably fill you in with most of that information. We are looking forward to a wonderful weekend with the VFW, June 12th, 13th, 14th, Dominic?
13th, 14th, 15th.
13th, 14th, 15th, right. As soon as I said 14th, I remembered that's Flag Day and that's on the Saturday. So that's what's coming up next for us. Of course, with Memorial Day in between, with whatever parades and commemorative celebrations we have with that. If anyone is not, I don't know what this broadcast goes out to. I'm assuming it's VFW people, but more beyond. Obviously, the auxiliary is family members of VFW members, which is open to what we say are 12 eligible people. So we're looking at wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, children of eligible VFW members. So that's what the auxiliary is about.
Thank you, Kathy. We invited Les to come on, but he wasn't feeling well, so he didn't come on today. So just to put that out there. Also, once this is done, probably by the end of the week, we're going to send you a link, and we'll at that point you can go ahead and send that link to all your posts, your district presidents, and they can send it out so they can listen to what you're talking about.
Great, thank you.
And since we have you on, how is the auxiliary doing in our state?
Actually, we're doing pretty well. We have 44 auxiliaries right now at the moment. We have 3,564 members in the Department of Connecticut. We have 13 programs at the moment, which includes our extension and revitalization program and our National President's Program, which right now is Operation Bottom Cover, which the National President, Brenda Bryant, put out there, which is diapers and wipes for our military families. We did just put a donation out to the Connecticut National Guard. I was honored to be able to bring that to them in Hartford, 2 pallets full of diapers and wipes. We do have more at our headquarters that right now we're looking at being able to bring to West Haven VA for they're doing a baby shower in July. So we're looking forward to being able to bring those supplies to that baby shower. So we do have our auxiliaries still bringing in diapers and wipes for that. We have My Special Project, which is APK Charities, which is Andrew Peterson Keel, which was he was a Special Forces member who was killed in I believe Afghanistan, and that's what our My Special Project is. So we've been raising money to be able to give to that Gold Star family. We have, like I said, 11 other programs, which I don't know if you want me to get into all of them right now.
Yeah, please, this is the best opportunity right now
great.
to reach
Okay.
everybody.
All
Yep.
right, so we have Americanism, which is about flag education, and the POW MIA recognition, which is in September, Friday, September the 19th. And we have auxiliary community outreach, which we try to get our VFW auxiliary members involved with other community programs, so that our members in what we do as the VFW auxiliary gets known out in the community. So we go out in the community and get involved with, say, the food pantry or the Red Cross or other organizations like that as auxiliary members with, say, the shirt that says VFW auxiliary, or a hat, or one of our pins, and we volunteer for them with our insignia on, so that we get known out into the community. So that's one of our other programs. We have Buddy Poppy, a national home, which we go out, and hopefully most people know about our Buddy Poppy, which raises money for our general fund, which helps us to pay for anything that one of our auxiliary members or our VFW members need for, say, to help whatever they need for, or to help pay for membership if someone is short money to pay for their membership for that year. We have our extension revitalization, trying to help keep our auxiliaries going, make sure that they're in good working order. Our hospital, which is volunteers going into either a VA hospital or a non-VA hospital. Sometimes people forget that we can go into a non-VA hospital and help volunteer there, say a nursing home or whatever. Our legislative program, which is about getting out there voting, especially, or like Dominic and I just did in February or beginning of March, where we went down to Washington, D.C. and went into the offices of our state representatives and made sure that they're aware of what needs to be done for our veterans. Our membership program, which is about building our membership, making sure that the VFW and the VFW auxiliary stays going through the years and that we keep growing. Our scholarship program, which is 3D art, our Young American Patriotic art program, our continuing education program, which people kind of forget about, that is for members that are 21 years and older. The members, they have to be a member, first of all, or spouses and their children that want to continue their education. We have our Veterans and Family Support Program, which helps to put on, I just went totally blank on this. Sorry about that. In September, where we go to, what used to be the big thing up at, in Rocky Hill, and now we do it in 5 different, stand down, there you go, stand down, I just lost that, stand down. Now we're in 5 different locations that we go to every year. We help give supplies to our homeless veterans, a lot of our homeless veterans, our hospitalized veterans, and things like that. Our youth program, which is Illustrating America, and getting our youth with our Boy Scouts, our Girl Scouts, and getting them involved with our veterans. And so doing things like that. But those are our 13 programs. So we are involved with a lot of programs like that, a lot of donations that we do. So very, very active. The auxiliary is very, very active in the programs and the things that we do. So hopefully I feel doing a lot of what we do. And we do so much more, but that's a lot of what we do.
That sounds great, Kathy. So if there's one thing you wanted to get out to your people using this, what would you like to tell them? Or if you get a phone calls that are constantly asking you the same questions all the time, is there anything you want to mention to them or address anything?
I think what I'd want to say, actually what I want to put out there is I'd want to put it out to the VFW members. If your family members are not members of the VFW auxiliary, why not? I guess that would be my first question, is out to the VFW members. Why aren't your family members members of the VFW auxiliary? That would be my first question. If, my second one would be, if you have a question for the auxiliary, as an auxiliary member, call or email, because we're here to answer whatever question that you have. So please don't be afraid to make that phone call or email us. Our auxiliary website is VFW Auxiliary, let's see, where is it? You put me on the spot here. I know VFWCT.org is the VFW one. VFWAuxiliaryCT.org is the auxiliary one. So we do have a website. I'm sitting at the wrong desk in my house to be able to get, I have it usually up right in front of my computer, but I'm in the process of moving, so my computer is now in a different room. But I believe it's VFWAuxCT.org is that. But if you need to get in touch with me, my email address is my name, which is very long, complicated. But if you're watching, it's KATHIEFLEISCHAUER@gmail.com.
Oh, great, Kathy. And I met you back in the dorm when we did the dorm post, and you passed out a flyer, the 10 reasons to join the auxiliary. So that was pretty good. If you can get that out, maybe that would be a big help too. I pass it out at my district meetings. But again, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And we'll probably have you, and hopefully we'll get Les on again. We'll try him again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on. I look forward to coming back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now I guess we'll go to our senior vice. Do you want to?
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Sheldon.
You're welcome.
Control room, I'm sorry, we're going to keep you busy. My name is Charlie Pickett. I'm the Senior Vice Commander for the state of Connecticut. And in 2 months, I'll be Commander if I don't really screw up and be voted in at the convention, the aforementioned convention. So the first thing I want to talk about, we were talking about the website. So if anything on this program, you want additional information, VFWCT.org, VFWCT.org, and I'll find that camera at some point. I really appreciate that. There's a lot of good things. Heck, if you want to even pull it up, see if they got some chops there in the control room. They can pull it up on the monitor. Otherwise, we'll go right to the golf stuff.
Okay.
All right. One thing is the golf date for getting in there is over. Is that correct, Dominic? I think it was the 10th.
That's the 10th.
I think the 10th. Here, why don't you hold that up just in case? So the second thing we're going to talk about is the golf. It's a fundraiser for our VFW, our fledgling VFW Connecticut Foundation, which we are working on. Dominic has been very hard to work at that. Give me that back. All right. Second thing I'd like to talk about, another project that I wanted to bring up, and I really appreciate this forum that's going to go out not only to our VFWs around the state, but I imagine, what time is this, does this air on local TV?
So this will be, it was a couple weeks ago on a Friday, like 3 o'clock.
3 a.m.?
No, 3 p.m.
Okay, all right.
And so I'm assuming it's going to be like that again.
Okay, all right, great,
It's going to be on the Comcast.
But it'll be available on the internet?
But we're gonna send the link out, and that's what we're going to pass it out to send it to everybody. We'll send the district commanders. The district commanders will go ahead and pass it out to the post commanders and so on and so forth.
Great.
So, and that's how we'll get this.
Well, we'll be sure to promote that on the Facebook page, which I saw you just posted on. And we've got a number of editors that have been posting on the Connecticut, the VFWCT Facebook page.
That's right.
And one of the things that we've been legislatively this year, we've been very involved in the Save Our Cemetery. So the third thing I think I want to talk about, Control Room, is the Save Our Cemetery. The Middletown Cemetery, the State Veterans Cemetery in Middletown, is running out of space. It's actually the one, and I heard you talk about it last time, and I really appreciate that in episode 1. It is the in-ground cremains that are running out first, which is shocking because they have all these other spaces for full casket burial. But when they started the cemetery and they did additions, society has changed, so there's more cremains being buried. There's also columbarium, but that's almost a third full, and they just put that in a few years ago. So this is nothing more than, hey, they're opened up, they're looking for a new site, they're going for 50 acres. You know what? They can't really talk about it because when you're doing land when they're acquiring land, you really can't talk about it because people can nefariously buy land adjacent or do other things. So it's been kind of hands-off. Actually, I should be sending an email. If you go to ctvets.us for the Save Our Cemetery, there's a nice little newsletter. You can join up on that.
Are you still looking
And,
for the post to vote on it, approve it,
So
and let
that's
you
a
know?
good question. So actually, I want to correct something. Half of the posts of the state have. We've got 50 entities that have adopted the resolution, which is a very tepid, hey, pay more attention to this type resolution. We must have been doing something right because there was a bill at the state legislature. There's movement by the Department of Administrative Services, the people that get the land. There has been, people have been moving their feet as opposed to just being forgotten about. It is very important because Connecticut has a strong tradition of taking care of our veterans that dates back to the Fitch House. In the wake of the Civil War, we had one of the first, if not the first, so don't quote me on that, veterans homes in the nation. So down there in Darien, there was also the first veterans cemetery was down there. And that filled up in 1979, 1980. They closed that. They subsequently moved to Middletown, and opened in 84, although I think the first person went in there in 85. And so now they're starting to fill up. Cemeteries fill up. There's 3 in Queens to the federal level that are totally filled up and closed. So we are talking about the state level veterans cemetery. If that fills up and there are no more state level cemeteries within Connecticut, which would be not good, we would be shipping our sons and daughters off to, actually our primary one is over on Long Island. So no one likes that one. Then there's one over in Bourne. And then there's 2 state cemeteries, Agawam, which is right over the line, and then there's the one in Rhode Island. So it would behoove Connecticut to either expand Middletown or to develop a brand new veteran cemetery. The last thing I want to say about that there is $77.5 million allocated in the governor's proposed budget for this cycle. It's working its way through the legislature. The next thing we need to look out for is to make sure that doesn't go away through the budget process. So it is kind of, it takes a few years to develop any plot of land, including an annex. And why we were lobbying for Middletown, it's a lot cheaper to open up one within an annex of the current one. You don't have to do all the infrastructure. Like there's a building there and all the yard stuff. And the cranes, and not the cranes, but the plows and stuff like that. But if it's somewhere else in the state, it's been quoted as a $15 million startup costs. So 7.5 is in the budget. That may be the next bridge we have to cross, but so join our newsletter, and that is again on ctvets.us if you want to find out more.
How many more years we have to the cemetery?
That is a key question. They're putting out that 2027 out of space and capacity by 2027. Yes,
That's
it
right around the
is.
corner.
That's why this was yes. So that was why it's a thing.
Oh, okay.
The third thing, or the fourth thing, do you want to talk about the convention a little bit?
Absolutely.
Talk about the convention a little bit, Dominic?
Absolutely. We'll talk about the convention. I'll have to say the convention, we actually this year have honestly stepped up our game with the convention. You know, we are right now in the midst of, well, we're still in some of the charting process, but I will say one thing. So nothing structurally is going to change. It's going to be at the Sheridan at the Rocky Hill this year. We've been there for what, 22 years?
Something like that.
Sure, right? So yeah, that's that. So first things first, at 6 p.m. we're going to have a memorial service on the 13th of Friday, Friday the 13th, okay? Another thing too is, right after the memorial service, we are going to have a free show for you with the Coconuts.
Who are the Coconuts?
They are a band that's been together 48 years, and they're pretty good entertainers, I will say that. They do like hilarious parodies, they do sing-alongs, and a good old rock and roll. So we do anticipate that we are going to see the Coconuts, and
nice.
they're going to entertain us for the evening for our bash. Okay, so going into Saturday, business as usual. All right, the breakfast will be in the morning, and the banquet dinner will be in the evening. And then Sunday we do the rest of our voting. We do the installation, and then we're off to another year. Yep, that's all I got to say about the convention.
About the convention, very nice, very nice.
Yep.
And of course, all that information is on vfwct.org.
Yes, that's right.
vfwct.org. Let's go to the next item on the agenda.
Absolutely.
The aforementioned uniform polo that you guys mentioned. Yes, in black. In black, because you know what goes well with black?
What's that?
Shirts? Khaki pants. Khaki pants. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wow.
And it has a pocket.
And it has a pocket because some of us may be losing some of our sight. Thank you, control room. There you go. It's the uniform polo. It is a universal design. So if you are, it's just the full color VFW logo and just Connecticut on the bottom, very straightforward. It's color, you can wear it everywhere, memorial services, backyard barbecues, and put your cell phone in the airplane when you're there so you don't have to keep digging for it in your pocket.
Is the application on the website?
You know what? Shockingly, it is on vfwct.org.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I believe it is on, thank you very much, control room. It is on, put on the adjutant corner.
That's right.
Very recently.
Okay.
Very recently.
That's right.
Well, that's good. So we don't have to wait because sometimes when we do this at the convention, we always get out so late. So if you can start now.
So you have to kind of do the balance because there are 2 months to the day. Today's that day.
That's right.
There are 2 months to the day, and it's that kind of time of year where you want to be respectful of the current administration.
Sure.
Because while the gavel goes down on the 15th, their membership year does not end until June 30th.
That's right.
So there is that transition period. While the old administration this is their convention, the new administration, the senior vice, is looking forward and saying, okay, what do I got to do to prepare for me to take off and go to the national convention, get my membership program? And speaking of which, here is the draft of the membership program, which is still in a draft, and we had a hand into national. So if you're looking for the national, nothing's changing, not much. I think we're going to knock it down. Actually, this year it's 102% for the state. Next year will be 101%. For all American.
A lot more
for the
doable.
states.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
However, I'm still toying with keeping it 102 for posts.
Yeah,
Be
I
that
got
guy.
you. I got
Be
you.
that guy.
How
So
we
that's a
doing for
movable
membership?
feast. What's that?
How are we doing for membership this year, there, senior vice?
I heard a rumor that more than half of the posts, so we have 81 posts,
That's correct.
more than half have achieved the 102%. And it may be because of someone making phone calls and making it happen. Chief, can you tell us more about your efforts at the state level to help people, to nudge them in the right direction?
I think what it came down to, Charlie, honestly, it came down to is just putting out guidance, and I think what it came down to was coming up with a plan of action, and basically take them from their post where they sit right now, train them to become, more strategic and a lot more used to their time, good with use of their time, right? So, and also, one of the things that I've noticed throughout the whole state, because I've been, obviously going around throughout the whole course of the state, one thing that I did notice is that the people in the post, the members, are doing the work. It's just the thing we came down to was telling the VFW what they did through the, the .org dashboard.
You're talking about the programs, reporting
correct.
stuff
Reporting,
on
yeah.
vfw.org?
That's right.
So that's the national level of
Right.
reporting programs. So you jump from membership to program reporting.
That's
and
right.
our report, I remember our last, matter of fact, I go look at it again. What I'm very especially proud of is technology keeps moving forward
That's right.
and forward.
That's right.
Is that our reporting is not on paper anymore.
That's right. That's right.
It is more than 3/4 of our posts have recorded some of their programs for this year.
Right.
That gets reported to Congress. So imagine the thousands of posts from all
That's
across
right.
the world, because
That's
I
right.
just sat next to someone, I just had someone from Cambodia who was writing the 2 Cambodia posts.
Is that right?
And someone from Europe who was sitting there from Germany. And all those numbers, all that effort, all those
That's right.
community service, those programs, the buddy poppies, the awards for the service officers. Oh, Sheldon.
I'm so sorry. So we're going to take a break and for station identification, and we'll be right back.
In a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You matter.
You matter.
You matter.
And your words matter too.
Your words matter.
What you say in the hallways at school or in the student section at a game matters.
Words can be hurtful.
Words can be offensive.
Words can leave scars.
Words can also inspire.
Support and uplift.
You and your words.
Are they both important?
As a matter of fact, yes.
And thank you again. We're going to start off where we left off. Charlie, why don't you finish your...
Talk about
your
programs, and so so I'm very proud to see that people are adopting technology and reporting their programs that go right up to Congress.
Those dashboards have been great because you can see what's going on, and every post commander should be looking at that. All the members also should be looking at that, not just commanders or officers, and you bring it up to your post level and you talk to them at the meetings about what's going on and what you can do to help get you guys in the green. So the members should be active looking at all that stuff also.
That's right.
That's great. That's great. Speaking about dashboards,
yes, sir.
So if we were to go on to vfwct.org, we could actually show that because that's all public information. So control room, if you could, is that possible to get a website up there?
And
we'll see about that. So I'm going to talk about something else briefly. Let's talk about the day of service and see if they got that popped up.
Oh, yeah, that's coming too.
Day of service. Dominic, could you just hold that right there?
That's right. That's
so
right.
The day of service, I think this is year 4 or 5.
Yeah, something like that.
Year 4 or 5. So this is a great thing where the VFW National said, hey, look, we need to show off that we do community service. And so they started very small, and then it grew up. Now it's a thing in May where posts highlight their community involvement. They got the shirts, they schedule it, and it's a 2 thing. And we got to be careful too. If we want credit for our community service, it's you got to tell them when you're doing it, and then you got to report that you did it. I mean, the shirt is extra. The shirt is extra, and it looks nice. Look at that. Look at that, huh? We get it at the VFW store. So they actually, the poll is like May 3rd, but they just put out guidance that any time in May works for them. And then it keeps moving. That's my shirt. Give me that.
Hey, I would steal that shirt, bro.
You're stealing that shirt.
Yeah.
So anytime in May, but that's one of those initiatives that the VFW just shows that it's not an ossifying. Oh yeah. Thank you very much, control room. Yep, you can see it. There they go. Wait.
Oh yeah, 17 days.
17 days. Yeah,
that's right.
You have to sign, and this is what's going to happen in our All-American program, All-American Contest program, which a lot of our posts are now all of a sudden like eligible for.
Yes, that's right.
Showing excellence in the top 10% of posts worldwide. This is one of them, and it's a twofer, and I know it's going to be a gotcha situation no matter how many times we is there a chance you could scroll down that page? We can look some more of that delightful page of the VFW Day of Service. Maybe not. We'll work on that.
Yeah, here she goes.
Oh, there she goes. Thank you very much, Control Room. I'm trying to lead you a little bit better. As a high school English teacher, you gotta lead. You gotta lead a little bit. All right, we're gonna be doing this next.
I hate to send them emails because I'm thinking you're critiquing everything that I'm typing. I double check my spelling and everything.
Sheldon. I will tell you, I was surprised to hear the actual correct pronunciation of your last name.
Oh.
On episode 1.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we got that right. We got that right.
It was spelled wrong, but they fixed it. So.
I got a lot of, you got a lot of vowels.
So there's one other thing I want to talk about is the national convention's coming up.
That's
right.
right.
I'm going to show this little guy right here. There's nothing I don't think So for those of us in Connecticut who are going to there you go, who are going to the national convention, the Eastern Conference commanders are getting together, throwing some money again, and it's not Eastern Conference. So our organization is in 4 Eastern, which includes Europe, Southern, Big Ten, something like that, and then Western, which includes Pacific areas.
Yep.
We said to the East, you know what, let's throw our money together and have a big old party. And so we came up with the I mean, as a big basketball fan, the Big East Blast. The Big East Blast. So if you're going to the National Convention, it is free. You got to buy your own booze. We're not doing that.
That's
No, I
the
hear
Eastern
you.
Conference? Is that the Eastern Conference?
No.
That's
because-
National Convention.
So I have to be careful. Eastern Conference, they're very nice people, but they haven't donated any money to it. It is literally from the senior vice commanders and the departments from the East. So we had to say, look, we didn't ask them either. I mean, I'm sure they're very nice people, but we're like, we can do this. We should do this on our own. So, Pennsylvania is throwing money. New York and Pennsylvania is having their hospitality room, but they've got there is a lot of, so as the years go on and legal considerations and contracts are being made, let's just say that hospitality rooms are getting more difficult and more expensive.
Yeah, I concur. I concur.
So a big old party with a band. Oh, there's going to be a band there too now.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's going to be a band. And they're talking about T-shirts.
It's not going to be the coconuts, are they?
It is not going to be the coconut. You know what? Let's just show that again. I heard that these guys also do humor. Is this
Yes,
true?
they do. They're very funny. They've been together, like I said, it's, Dan LaRosa. He's one of the founding members of for the band. He is psyched, and they're ready to come entertain us Friday night.
I heard it's going to be a grand time. I mean, who's that open to?
That's open to everybody.
You mean to like all VFW
And auxiliary.
members?
And their guests.
Now, do you have to be in attendance at the convention for it, or is there anybody?
No, you just come up. And here's another thing I'm pleased to announce. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to reach out today to the VFW writers to go ahead and do a poker run and to see if we could get one going from one of the posts, hit a couple posts in lieu of hitting the convention.
Wow.
Yes.
That's rather advantageous.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yes, it is. And I'm excited to give them a call and say, hey, if we could get it done, and we could make it happen, this will be a great thing to get the VFW riders, bring your bikes and stuff like that, show up to the convention.
Now, do you have to dress in this is like a Jimmy Buffett thing? I mean, what should you dress like?
What, for coconuts?
For the coconuts,
well,
yeah.
They like to wear Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that, so we'll give it to like almost like a tropical island.
Yeah, theme.
Thing.
Okay,
yeah.
all right,
Maybe
good.
Jimmy Buffett, yeah, I guess so.
Good. So it's not going to be like swing dancing.
No,
like
they
that.
do sing Margaritaville, though.
Oh, okay. Fair
Yes,
nice.
they do.
Right. Don't say that out too loud. It's probably,
Oh, yeah, right.
pay
right.
royalties. Something like that. Well, Sheldon, do you got any other questions? I got some hats. We can talk about the two different programs.
Just one more thing about oh my God, the day of service. We talked about it to the last show, that even if you do one day of service,
One more time.
you still have to do something else during that quarter, because you're doing two things, right? You're doing a day of service, and you have to do.
No, it counts. I just heard him say it.
Oh, it does count.
Yeah, it does count.
Oh, it does count.
But it really,
But we
really,
wasn't too sure last
Yeah, they
time.
just said. But
Yeah.
you know what? Is a post really going to do one thing in May?
No, they do
come
a
on.
ton of things.
And especially in that quarter.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to do more than one.
In that quarter, come on. That's like,
Right.
that's like sweeps week for
Yeah.
veteranhood, for God's sakes. Oh yeah, we didn't do anything on Memorial Day. Then maybe we should have a discussion with that post. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right.
What
right,
are you
right.
doing?
You have a parade?
You have a parade. Wait, what does Clinton do for Memorial Day?
The parade. That's
You
basically-
got a parade? Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So we do the parade.
All right.
And we participate with the flags and all the other good
Okay.
stuff.
All right. That's good.
That's how we do it.
I mean, where are you living now? You're up in East
Hampton.
And what do they do for
We do the
Memorial Day?
parade.
You have a parade?
Yes, we do.
See, New Haven does not have a parade, but we have a very nice.
No way.
No, we had to get rid of it. It's too close to the Greater New Haven St. Patrick's Day parade. So back in the eons, back in the midst of time, we said, look, it's too expensive. We have two ceremonies. They're both on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, and one is at. Matter of fact, Joe DeNeo is one of our speakers.
Is that right?
Oh my God, Hatch. Well, I think it's Chris Hatch. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I should be prepared for that. He's at just graduated Yale, Navy SEAL, has his own. Yeah.
Good.
So we got one is at 1300 at the V down by the water.
Okay.
And the other one's right by the flagpole, which is always a challenging one with the populace down there. But the flagpole's looking good since they restored it. Yeah, we do. It's a nice speaker program. Come to 13 one because. I'm the MC.
All right,
so I just
sounds
want to
good.
promote my own, program.
Oh, so one of the other things I want to touch because it's jogged my memory, right? So one of the things
that's troublesome.
This might be troublesome. I will say that I want to speak on the behalf of Commander Borshevitz.
Borshevitz, yeah?
Yes, I want to speak on behalf. And he would be remiss if I didn't mention, like once again, I mentioned the membership. Now, we did mention there was 41 posts that have reached and attained 102.
What about the other ones?
They are on the brink. They are on the brink.
What does that mean?
They are on the brink of getting 102. I mean, 1 or 2, 3 members or something like that. I mean, they'll be joining the road to 102. And, you know, the emails have been helping. I will say that. Commander Borshevitz sending out those emails have been helping. And
Congratulations emails?
Congratulations emails.
Actually, you send those out.
No.
It's definitely you. You're pushing the button. Push the button.
No, it's so.
It's going to be quite a year. There's going to be a lot of happy people. At the convention.
I would say there is. And for the posts that are on the brink of 102, just remember this. Reach out to the people that you haven't heard from in quite a while. Maybe they fell off a year ago, year and a half ago. Maybe those people are just need to be reached out to, and or just say, hey,
call them up is what you're saying.
Call them up.
Call them up. Invite them to a Memorial Day parade, maybe.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you ever renewed in a while?
You want me to be at your Memorial Day parade?
You're going to be there on Sunday at my 1300 thing, so you can see, a true MC.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be great.
VFW A-lister.
If it's raining, you're off the hook. It's kind of brutal down there by the water.
Oh yeah, I grew up in New Haven.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the next Poppy Drive, membership will go up. That's when they lose the new people.
Right.
So that will do it. And do you want to talk about the foundation?
Yes,
sure.
And is that going to be your commander's project?
So right now, this year, the VFW Connecticut Foundation is Stan Borshevitz's, I would say it's his big push. It's tough. We've written bylaws. We've done incorporation. We're waiting to hear back from the IRS. And it is keyed in on helping posts.
That's right.
Because during the pandemic, it's one of those things. A C-19 is difficult to give to. You have to spread out. With a C3, which is what we're looking for, it's a lot easier to take in money, corporate money, to a foundation, and then we can turn it around and pass it back down. ADA compliance, helping with emergency repairs. I did think I see some stuff about one-to-one help.
Yes.
But that's something. But it's going to start off small. We need to work on getting some money in there. Figuring out the foundation. We got a nice little graphic going.
That's right.
There'll be a website eventually.
That's right.
We want to make sure we got our T's crossed and our I's dotted. Matter of fact, we just sent some paperwork off to National. We're waiting for them to what they have to say about that. And it has been very successful around the country, and we look to replicating that in the state of Connecticut.
Sure.
As there's less and less combat veterans in the populace, which is, as a Catholic and as an American, I'm okay with less wars and less, combat veterans.
Naturally, right.
However, we have to also keep in mind that means it's tougher to do membership. There's less people to do membership.
That's right.
It's tougher to raise money because as the wars fade in memory, what was the book? As the roar of the cannons grow dim and the musketry, goes away, people forget that they have warriors who, use the VA, who join VFWs and American Legions and AMVETs and Catholic War veterans. Got to shout that out. I was just at a Catholic War veteran last night.
Right.
But yeah, thank you for asking that question.
How are we funding it? Just by donations from the post, or?
So we're going to hold on that question.
Okay.
But we're slowly asking people. The golf tournament is looking to use their proceeds to do that. But I don't want to have concrete answers yet because we're looking at different streams. There'll be corporate funding opportunities. We want to make it valuable enough for people to do that and see our good works. And maybe you should be asking, what's the trifold brochure look like first? But we don't know yet. So it is very, but we have listened to what the membership has said, their comrades, and they're saying, look, sometimes the money only flows up and we have these programs and stuff. What happens when we need some help? Like we need a bridge loan or we, caught on fire, like the post visited over in Eastern Connecticut.
Yeah, right.
So, there is need for that help, and that foundation is a mechanism that we can help and do that. So the VFW is a C-19, this would be a C-3. And a lot of people all understand what a C3 is. United Way, Wounded Warriors is a C3.
Sure.
Just the YMCA, I think that operates under a C3. I could be wrong there. But there's so many, and you're so used to them. APK, we had just heard about APK.
That's right.
So that is, the difference between the two and why we're spending extra effort and some money to get this thing going in Connecticut.
Oh, that's a great idea. You want to show the hats, or you got something else you want?
Well, let's talk about. So, if this is for membership, but we can also talk about veteranhood and why there's different color hats on different veterans.
Okay.
So, as we know, and I keep looking here because I got that light right in my eye. It's okay. Is we have a lot of different organizations: the American Legion, the VFW. I mentioned AMVETS. There's a few other, Purple Heart, and inside those organizations, different color hats and different piping, so the piping here is red, means slightly different things that we can identify and say, oh, that means something different. So we're talking about membership and programs and excellence. And one way that we reward membership and excellence and growth in membership is through different colored hats. So this is an all-state hat that apparently someone wore in a parade and got dirty because they're hard to stay clean. The white ones, I'm going to hide up that flag. That white one there is for the All-State Program for Connecticut. That is set by the commander of that year. Okay. And that's usually administrative things, donating to state things like the Hugh Hoyt Youth Scholarship Program, the Connecticut Home, and what was the third thing? What was that?
The home,
the
special project.
And the special project, which this year and next year will be for the foundation. Then there's the National Recognition Awards, which is the All-American, which is this color, red, white, and blue. And that is if you meet the national criteria, 102%.
Right.
For the post or district.
Yeah.
If you have actual essays, Voice Democracy and Patriot Pen, and the criteria just moves a little bit every year, so you have to pay attention to it. But those are just a quickie explanation of why that the VFW has different hats. Then if you're at national, you'll get a different color piping. Actually, it's a silver zipper looking thing. Posts are gold, and districts I think are green.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
yes, they are.
So those are the things you can see from the hats. It's sort of like when you look at a person's ribbons, you can see the story that their service has telling. Oh, I think he was in Bosnia. Oh, okay. He was an NCO, that type of thing.
No, I never realized until you pointed that out.
Into the piping? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
And then in them, you mind if I keep going a little bit?
No,
I can
please.
talk about. So there's a few elements of the hat. Of course, there is the VFW seal. So this is the seal. And then we've got the levels of membership. There's a life member, which is actually quite affordable for most people. It's only in the $300 range. Legacy is a step up. And let's see now. This little button here actually shows that I'm a charter member. So they actually have a pin for a charter member. On the other side, of course, this one says Connecticut. This is my senior vice commander hat, but most of them show the post number right on the front, and then you might say the town here.
What's the legacy? You want to explain the legacy? Or why would you want to go to legacy?
So,
if you're a life member already.
So let's explain life membership first,
Okay.
and the difference between the American Legion and the VFW. So the VFW life membership is $400. The return on expense would be about 12, 14 years for most people. So if you're paying your annual membership set by the post, it's usually about 12 to 14 something years, and then you'd be break even. The American Legion's paid up for life program is a lot more expensive, and that would take about 40 years to pay off to break even, which is okay. I understand it's a different way of approaching a life membership, and I understand how that is.
Sure.
The VFW said, you know what, let's do the classic upsell in prestige, and it also means that you have a legacy donation coming back from national. So every year, they have a bronze, silver, and gold level for legacy life. Every year, a certain amount comes back from national, and it's legacy, it's in perpetuity. So you've invested in an annuity for your post. So wherever you go or wherever your post ends up, so if New Haven lives on, every year it's around like $18 comes back.
Really?
So I think it comes back to the state and to the post, and I don't think district any. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But yeah, that's the difference. And with Legacy, you get printed in a separate list. It's a little bit, just that little bit of upsell extra, and it's $400 each level. I applaud them because that's a classic upsell.
Sure.
Think about your cars and stuff like that.
Sure.
And if you can afford it, I mean, it took me a few years to afford each level to get up there. And but I'm proud to have that. Matter of fact, I was plumbing the lists of Connecticut's gold because I have to do 31 appointments.
Right.
So I have to do 31 appointments for homeless veterans, Buddy Poppy chairmen, things like that, and all the areas that we focus on within the VFW, and actually should be pushing out into the front because that is our identity. We're about veterans. So that has been a big focus lately, and I'm saying, okay, who's committed to the VFW in this financial sense? So I've looked at those lists and sent out a bunch of emails. So if there's any comrades out there in Connecticut that are really interested in, I've got a good one for homeless veterans. That's a poor example now, but I have a few more. So if you know me, and by the way, if you want to find me, there's this website at vfwct.org, and someone's email address is listed on there. I will not say an email address on the air, we don't know who's listening.
Right.
But you can find it there and it can help you out.
Nice.
What other questions you got? Oh, actually, I got some photos. I think we got about, 10 minutes?
Oh, yeah, about nine.
So if the control room looks at that email, there's some photos I posted up there, and we could talk about our first female commander of the nation. Oh, appreciate it. So right there, that's Carol Whittemore. I appreciate that. And she's speaking just last week to the senior vice at training, actually last weekend. That's Dan West over to the right. She will this year, in August of 2025, be the first female commander of the VFW in our 126th year. And how it's being received is like, really? What happened? Because we're so used to having female veterans and females in our organization. It just was a little shocking that it's taken this long. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, of course we expect that. There's a lot, and as I saw all my peers, there's a heck of a lot of female veterans running states now, and a lot of global war on terror veterans.
That's right.
So I'm looking around the room going, I'm old. If we could slide down the page to the next photo number 2. That is just down the street in Guilford. There's Larry. They're getting sworn in.
There you go.
Their election. And proud, we're not going to talk about that baseball cap, but we're not just going to gloss right over it. But that's, matter of fact, I will be going to Les. I hope Les is okay, because I'm supposed to swear in Wallingford tonight.
I talked to him last night, and he had to go to a doctor's appointment today.
Yeah,
okay.
So I think he's doing fine. I think he had
that's fine.
Because he wasn't feeling well for the last
He had
week.
a heck of a testimonial there, and
Yes,
I
he
popped
did.
in it. I got off the plane, jumped in the car, drove down there.
Yes, he did.
Who are all those people?
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a popular guy.
Yes,
that
he
Les
is.
Forbes.
District 2 is pretty big, so a lot of them showed up.
He has his own day.
Got his own what?
He's
He
about
has
to have
his
his
own
own day in the fall, right?
That's right.
Yep, he has two days.
That's right. They called
he
it.
does.
Yes.
Yeah, he has 2 days out of the year.
Isn't it Mayor Servino? I think it's Vinny Servino.
Right. So April 13th and November the 16th are Les Forbes Day.
Did he get a key or anything like that?
I don't know. They better give him a
What
key
do
to
we
the
got
city.
to do? What do we got to do to get a key for the city?
I don't know. Ask Les Forbes.
All right. Let's go to the, we're getting down there. Let's go to the next one. Oh, there's my post. The combined New Haven veterans. You see the American Legion banner there and the VFW logos there. We marching in the Greater New Haven St. Patrick's Day Parade. We finally, this is a monumental year because we finally hoodwinked a whole bunch of kids to hold the banner. So that was 10 years of existence, and this is the first time we got a bunch of kids.
Nice.
It's like the young veterans. They're like reproducing or something like that. It's terrible. Let's go to the next photo. Let's see what we got here. I think that may be the second last one. The control room. Oh, maybe that is the last one. There.
That's the last one.
So that's it.
Oh.
Thank you very much. So are there any additional, so we're winding down here,
Yeah,
right?
we are winding down. So was there anything else we got a few more minutes, about 5 more minutes. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about, that people that you wanted to address with some of the posts or?
So we talked about the cemetery.
Sure.
We talked about pushing through the line, getting 102. This is the year.
How about the VA?
The VA?
Who's handling claims now?
So,
it may be too much to talk about.
Yeah, it's too much,
minutes,
but I'll tell you,
real
I was
quick.
on radio, and I'm getting increased phone calls for about cuts in the VA
Yeah.
and services.
Yep.
So that is been a hot topic, and I believe you spoke at the West Haven Museum.
I did.
And that's a hot topic. People are very, very concerned about sweeping cuts in the VA budget. So that has been an increasingly hot topic.
Yes,
and as
it
a
has.
teacher in New Haven down at Sound School, by the way, smart kids within my ear, with my voice, the Sound School is a public school. We draw from all the way to Saybrook.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. So it's, and Durham.
Oh, is that right? I didn't realize that
we
went that
draw
far up
25.
down the
Yep,
95.
went that far. Boats and Fish. That's Sound School.
We still have Ron Ruskell handling claims
Yes.
and
Linda Chacon.
Linda.
Yep, Newington.
Claims consultant over there in Newington.
So we're not looking for anybody else at this point, right? Because Ron
No.
filled in that position.
Well, we're not today.
Not today.
Yep.
Okay. And was there anything else you guys wanted to hit on or discuss? Anything
I
else?
think, Charlie, I think we really did well.
I think let's talk about District 6.
Oh, yeah, 36 more people to get the honorary
Sheldon,
degree.
how are we going to get you that All-American cap there, buddy?
Oh, my God.
36, Sheldon.
people, Sheldon.
36.
You can't
36.
tell me that Middletown can't find 36 people?
Yeah.
Middletown?
Middletown.
Did they hear it?
exactly.
Did they see this?
Yeah, well, they will
You know
see this,
Clinton?
Exactly.
What about your post?
Well, Clinton, I know we've been talking to a
No
couple
heat.
people and...
No judgment.
No.
You know who I'm
judgment.
really proud of,
No
though?
judgment.
Who?
Out of District 6?
Yeah.
Portland.
Really?
I
Right
am.
there on the river.
You know what I'm saying? Right there
Right
on the
there
river,
down the
man.
brownstone.
I am happy with Portland. You know, they also, too, 33-36 at East Haddam. I mentioned them last show. I think they're rock stars.
There's a couple of guys over there.
I want to get that commander on as a guest soon.
Yeah.
To talk about community service. and
Sure,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
I mean,
They do a lot of
they
community
do a
service.
lot of community service.
With the gravestone, are they the gravestone guys?
Yes, the cemetery
And we
crew.
should probably end up talking about America 250.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no one's
Oh, yeah.
talking about it, but Connecticut is actually a forerunner, is that we have an America 250 Veterans Committee, and we're trying to do some things, a joint committee between the VFW and the Legion. And it's starting off, but there may have been an email sent around today, so that thing's starting to heat up nicely.
Right, of course.
So we're looking forward to wait a minute, who can say the proper name for the 250th anniversary? Semi-sequicentennial.
Wow. All right. Yep.
Good luck on that one.
I don't even know if I could say that, period.
Good thing to be an English teacher. But
Yep.
we're looking at doing coordinating and developing programs. So the first one, the kickoff one, which I'm sure both of you will be at in ties and a hat, will be the 4th of July at the Capitol.
Oh, yeah? That's right.
for the Hall of Flags.
It's our year.
Which is shockingly, sorry to get loud, control room, shockingly mandated by state law. And it's like on page 1 under holidays. I was like, where is this thing where it says we have to do this thing? And it was John DeBishop, the commander, right there. And it's right there on 4th of July. And it says the governor's proclamation and Hall of Flags ceremony. And I was like, oh, it's not a rumor. It's literally on page 1. So we'll be at the Hall of Flags. That'll be pretty much our kickoff. Working with Christine Pitsley, who is the historian at VFW New Haven. No, I'm sorry, American Legion New Haven Post 210. She's our historian. And so we're getting together and trying to get posts around the state. Matter of fact, I'm looking for a few more bodies to help me out with that. But I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. You're too busy already.
Yep. So since we're getting ready to wrap up here, I want to say, thank you for watching. Charlie, it is awesome.
Thank you for letting me host there.
Yep.
Be a guest co-host. I appreciate
Actually,
it.
we got to bring you back on the show a few more times.
Well, how can I do it on Zoom? So
No, you got to be live. You got to be live in the studio.
live?
You got to be
Oh,
live
my
in the studio.
We need like a goodbye thing and
Oh, yeah.
like a carbonet kind of.
Yeah.
we'll sing the Carpenter
Oh yeah,
song.
you check the ear thing,
So
you know,
nice, we
yeah,
had this
yeah,
time
yeah.
together.
You know, yeah, like I said, we have a lot of information, a lot of good events are
So you're
coming
going to
up.
do your sign off? I'm so and so, and I'm so and so, and we're here, and da da da, and join us next time type thing.
So again, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching. I hope you received a lot of good information about this. And again, please pass this video around, pass that link around. And I just wanted to say, please be safe. Hope to see you at the meetings. And good night and good luck. Thank you.